Well, here in Washington, the U.S. is pledging to support a free and democratic Mali. The Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Johnny Carson, says America will continue to provide assistance after the current crisis is resolved. Meantime, the French are predicting an end to major hostilities as early as March. But for the nearly 300,000 Malians displaced by the fighting, the hardship has barely begun. David Axe has the story from Bamako.
French troops and equipment arrive in Bamako, southern Mali, on U.S. Air Force transport planes. The French reinforcements are some of the last in a ground campaign that began in mid-January, when an attack by Islamic militants in control of northern Mali since last spring provoked a powerful French-led counterattack. French warplanes struck militant forces as a combined French and Malian army swept north, reportedly killing hundreds of rebels and quickly liberating all of northern Mali's major cities. Now French officials are predicting a rapid end to the conflict, with most French troops out of Mali by March, but the humanitarian crisis could last months longer. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees estimates 294,000 Malians have been displaced by the fighting beginning last year. 204,000 people have been displaced within Mali. The other 90,000 are in UN-run refugee camps in neighboring Niger and Burkina Faso. The UN does not expect that number to shrink anytime soon. In fact, the world body is planning for a short-term increase in the refugee population as stability slowly returns to Mali. The most recent planning figures foresee as many as 460,000 Malians remaining displaced 10 months from now. Ethnic tensions complicate the refugee crisis. A small number of secular Tuareg rebels fought alongside the Islamic groups. Facing reprisal, many Tuareg civilians fled their homes. Mohamed Musa Ag fled to Burkina Faso after government soldiers began targeting Tuareg civilians in Bamako. The UN worries that prejudice will outlast the current fighting and prevent the return of many refugees. They and other displaced people face persistent shortages of food, water, and shelter. Disease is rampant in the refugee camps. Even before the Mali conflict, the African Sahel region, which includes Mali, was in the grip of a devastating drought that killed many crops and herd animals. The UN says it has received just two-thirds of the $120 million in donation it needs in 2013 to address the Malian refugee crisis. David Axe for VOA News.
We want to know what you think about In Focus and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook and like us. The address is VOA In Focus, and you can check our Africa headlines 24/7 at voaafrica.com.